Thank you. And the clerk will take the roll.
Commissioner Heinrich. Here. Commissioner Brassad.
Here.
Commissioner Reinert.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Commissioner Jepson.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
Here.
And we're all here. We have nothing under others. We go down to item number 4, which is tax claims and abatements. And there actually is something on here, this list of abatement applications to be presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brassad. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Schulte. Any discussion? Hearing none. This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 5 is to consider accepting the regular claims paid over $500 and purchase card claims paid for the period ending November 29th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Been moved by Commissioner Jepson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 6, approval of the minutes from the December 2nd, 2024 and December 3rd, 2024 county board meetings. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Meisner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schulte. Are there any changes or anything anybody wishes to make? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Moving down to item number 7, which is our chair's remarks for this morning. We have just one item under the chair's remarks, and that is recognition of Juanita Reed Boniface for her years of service to the University of Minnesota Extension Committee. I'll turn the floor over to Commissioner Meisner, who serves as a member of the Anoka County Extension Committee, to tell us more. Commissioner Meisner.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my honor and pleasure to recognize and talk about Juanita. So I have had the luck to serve with her for the last 5, almost 6 years on the Minnesota Extension Committee. And Minnesota Extension is one of these hidden gems that is a partner with the county. Minnesota Extension is dedicated to building healthier communities through education and community development. But Juanita started her career with Extension Committee in 1995. So she has been serving for the last 29 years. And we recently had a committee retirement party as well. And I will say that was amazing because I was able to hear so many people talk about her career and the impact that she has made. Juanita, she talks and she lives about developing leadership, particularly in youth. So that is really the heart of the work that she does. And she's also just a trailblazer as far as a woman in leadership and education when she shared some of her stories of her career. And so I would actually really prefer Juanita to talk a little bit more about that. But this board does want to recognize you for all of your decades of service to the county, to our communities. And I know that I am certainly not the only one that has served on the Minnesota Extension Committee, so I would also like to offer the floor for anyone else who would like to speak words of encouragement and recognition for Juanita. So let's do that, I guess, before I ask Juanita to come up, if there's anyone else to speak for Juanita.
Sure. Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Commissioner Meisner, you're so right. Juanita, you have been the heart and soul and such a force for the University of Minnesota Extension. That was one of my first committees back in, I guess, elected 2012, so 2013 that I sat on. And it seriously was just such a pleasure to work with you and seeing your undying commitment. Just every single committee, you come prepared, you were organized, and you have represented the University of Minnesota and the heart and soul and the commitment you have for the youth. Thank you. You have impacted so many people through your journey, and it will be greatly missed. So thank you so much for your service.
Commissioner Jepson.
Yes,
I won't echo exactly what they said either, because I am the shortest termed person who has had the privilege of working with you in these past 2 years. You've just been such an example of that leadership, of that public servant, doing all the things that you do out of the goodness of your heart and the belief in the work that needs to be carried on through the University of Extension, University of Minnesota Extension Services. So thank you for being that model for me and for working with me and allowing me into your world for just a little tiny bit. You are going to leave a large hole when you leave, but you have spent decades creating that work, and your shoes will never, ever be replaced. But we will try our hardest to carry on your legacy that you have so beautifully created, so that we can hope to emulate that in the future. So thank you.
Commissioner Reiner.
Most has been said, but, you know, I served for 1 year on the extension. It was very easy to see the leadership that you provided. And as Julie said, it's going to be hard shoes to fill. Thank you for your service.
And I think Commissioner Meisner's got a,
I do, and then before I give you this and then invite you up to also speak a few words, Juanita, I will just say, I'll preface this, so she's retiring after 29 years, but I don't really think that you're retiring. So I know you are a community servant and an author and fully engaged in community, so I know that you will still be around and advocating and encouraging new leaders to emerge. So I look forward to this new season without having all of the titles and the responsibility. But thank you so much. And I'm going to come down and give this, and then why don't you come up and say a few words if you like.
one more photo op.
Thank you, dear. Oh, thank you. Well, the last time I stood at this podium, I was reporting on the 100-year history project that the Extension Committee had done when it was the year that we were celebrating 100 years of extension in Anoka County. So I've been before this diodes before, so I'm not too scared this morning. But I was thinking about, well, they probably will expect me to say a few words, and what am I going to say? And one of the things I thought about that I hadn't thought about when we had the Extension Committee recognition in November was that I actually started my extension career in a county. I was a county extension agent in Otoe County, Nebraska, and I'm ending kind of my formal, I guess, connections in a county in Minnesota, in Anoka. So I guess there's, you know, that's kind of cool to have those two bookends of county experience in your career. Well, believe it or not, and this will probably give away my age, but I started in my relationship with Extension and 4-H started, let's say 80 years ago, when I was in, my first 4-H project was a white shorthorn beef steer, and we lived in the central Sandhills of Nebraska. And so that was my first experience, and I wasn't very old, but I managed to get through that year. Some years later, after I'd had a lot of years of being in 4-H and so on, we relocated to Minnesota, and I was looking for a job in Extension. I was interviewed here in Anoka County, May 1st, 1963. I was interviewed for a position. And there were two candidates, Lois Lapham and myself. And I don't know if any of you remember Merlin Gaslin, but Merlin was on this county board. I'm not sure if he was chair or what, but at any rate, he made the motion to hire Lois. And the reason that was given, which shows that we have made some progress for women in the last 60 years, was that she did not have any children, But I was married and I had 2 small children. Now, I knew I was the best candidate, but, you know, you couldn't do anything about discrimination at that time. But Juanita, who doesn't let too much grass grow under her feet, was going to find a way to make this, to still get to work. So I ended up by knocking on enough doors on the St. Paul campus, and particularly in Extension and in the 4-H department specifically, till they created the first and not the only, they've done them since, they created the first graduate assistant position for me. So I could work and start working on my master's degree, because I knew that there would be a time that that was going to be required in order to continue a long-term career in Extension. So meantime, as life kind of changes, I ended up coming back to Anoka County and actually moving here and actually buying property here. And I've lived here now for 50 years, if you can believe that. So, you know, and I've been through, I think, almost every role that you can have related to Extension. I was a 4-H member. I was a junior leader. I was a professional. Then when I had children, I became involved in the club leader. My kids were 4-H. My kids were 4-H members. And I was a volunteer, you know, locally here, and that was all part of it. Until until 1992, when I retired from my position at the university, where as people said when I retired from that, she always wore many hats, and I guess I still maybe do that. But I did have a little break from Extension before Pat Morium in 1944 approached me and said she'd had some good conversation with Commissioner Dick Lang. You probably all remember Dick. Anyway, he was our commissioner in our district, and back then, your appointments were handled a little bit differently than they are now. The commissioners had to recommend someone from their district to serve on the Extension Committee. Now you have this application process. But, you know, that was quite an honor when I thought, oh, my county commissioner, I always think they're kind of up here, you know, kind of people, you know, was recommending me for this, and Pat's been talking to me about doing that. So I thought, well, you know, why not? It's just another opportunity, and it might bring something, who knows what kind of experiences. So I was appointed then, as has been mentioned already, in January 1995, and I've been here ever since. So I went to a rejection from this county astute people with, you know, decision-making powers, to being appointed to the county board and for Extension, and serving for a long time. So being reappointed then about 10 times. So I guess I just comment, it's been a real joy for me to be a part of Extension at the county level. Anoka County has certainly one of the very, very best programs in the state of Minnesota. We are seen as a leader. We are seen as forward and very progressive in terms of starting and initiating new programs, and that's only possible, I may tell you, only possible when you have strong support from your county board of commissioners, because some counties do not have that and have not had that. But that's not been an issue here. We've always had good support, and for that I want to thank you and those of you whose shoulders you stand on, who have made that possible in this county over 100 years. We've had a lot of new things happen in the county and the growth of new programs, and again, I think that that's been one of the real exciting things about being part of that. I've been a part, and the interesting thing is when you're around forever, you're able to watch young people grow and develop. And our current Extension 4-H educator, Anna, was actually, I knew her mother and her aunts when they were 4-H members back when, and have been fun to, you know, watch her move into her career and take such strong leadership with our county. We've also had with an Extension, I think, just a real strong relationship with our County Farm Bureau. I've been a part of that group, and I've tried to be influential in helping to continue that relationship, because over 100 years ago when Extension was started. It was really through the county Farm Bureau was the sponsoring organization until we got all the other governmental players in place. So it's been a great journey. It's been fun. I think, as you've mentioned, I think, John, you're the only one that has not served on the Extension Committee with me over time. But welcome. I know you'll get your turn because that's kind of the way they work it around here. And I just wish you all well. Thank you for your support, for your appreciation, and for allowing me to serve in this way for the great length of time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Juanita, and congratulations to you on your many years of service with the extension. The recognition that you got is a testament for your longtime commitment to serving our community. We know the work you've done here is only part of your dedication to extension, as you had more than 60 years, as you indicated, involved with a number of different programs with 4-H, 4-H leader, a 4-H mother, and a donor. That kind of dedication is to anything is profoundly rare, and we're honored that you've given us so much time and expertise to our county. And as you heard and indicated yourself, it was always one of the first committees that anybody gets appointed to from the county board. And I think that is because you were there, and you were there to teach us exactly how to act and react and serve on the county board, because you've done such a fantastic job. So we very, very much appreciative of that, and it was a good start for all of us sitting on the.
Well, that's why you're so smart. I've wondered why this group was so
Trained us.
smart.
You trained us well.
I guess I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one.
Well, let us give you an applause. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Meisner.
I'm sorry, one more thing, Mr. Chair, thank you. I just wanted to recognize as well, Craig Taylor is here, the regional director from Minnesota Extension, which is also a testament to the work of Juanita. So thank you so much for coming and celebrating Juanita. Thank you.
Thank you both. So we'll move on, if there's nothing else, okay, we'll move on to our committee meetings. First on the agenda for the Management Committee with Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Management Committee met on December 3rd here in this building at 8:15 a.m. First action item, there were no public comments in person, nor were there any via email, but I always do accept them via email. Anyone can email me at mandy.meisner@anokacounty.mn.gov. This was actually a meeting of informational items. As you know, I do like to share with the public. So informational item number 2 was going over personnel rules and regulations and to request a recommendation of respective department heads to approve the consent items. The other thing for informational items was to consider for informational purposes the legal publication bids for our 2025 with contracts to be considered for the 2025 County Board Organizational Meeting. And with that, that concludes my regular report.
Commissioner, you've got one item and an action item.
I do have
The
one.
data request management system?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do. Okay, thank you. The committee does want to seek the request to authorize to proceed with the implementation of the data request management system with GovQA procured through a cooperative purchasing agreement. So this data request management system is implemented and is essential to modernize how we handle data practices. As you guys know, as a board, the demand for data requests continues to grow and also its complications. So this is going to help bring things to be not only efficient, but also to track requests that are coming in. Now, this is a 5-year subscription total. The total amount is $432,294.74. You can see an annual breakdown between years 1 through 5. So this will get us going. There'll be some development as time goes on, but this is absolutely a step in the right direction to help us get a handle on data requests. And I will move this.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Seconded by Commissioner Schulte, moved by Commissioner Meisner. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Gibson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Then you already did your informational items?
I did do my informational items. Yeah, did a little bit backwards today, just mixing things up. And that concludes my regular report.
We know we got another one, but that's with another item too, so we'll do additional items that were added to the
Okay,
agenda.
wanna
at
wait?
the end.
Okay.
Yep. Item B, Transportation Committee report from Commissioner Jepson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The Transportation Committee met on Wednesday, December 4th at the Highway Department building. All committee members were in attendance, as were a number of staff plus others for informational purposes. There was no one from the public who made any comments. We started the meeting a little out of order, just to accommodate some of the guests who were there. One presentation from Tom Burkhart with Alliant Engineering updated the committee on the progress of the County Road Safety Plan and Associated Safe Streets and Roads for All plan. Work is progressing on schedule and should be wrapped up in the coming months. More information to come on that. There were 5 items on the agenda for today that the committee is recommending for approval. The first one is requesting approval of Resolution 2024 TR42. The resolution authorizes Anoka County to submit a funding application to the 2025 Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, otherwise known as the RAISE grant. These are federal dollars available to modernize transportation infrastructure and can be used to cover project development, construction, and right-of-way acquisition costs. Just a little background, in 2023, we were successful in receiving about $20 million for Trunk Highway 65 Section 2. In this specific application, we are asking for $25 million for Section 3, which you can see circled. Major intersection of that section is circled on the map on the screens in front of us at the intersection of Bunker Lake Boulevard and Trunk Highway 65. As a reminder, we've already secured $10 million for that section through the 2024 Met Council Regional Solicitation Process. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I will go ahead and offer Resolution 2024 TR24 for approval.
The offer of the resolution by Commissioner Jepson is before us. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 2.
The committee next requests the approval to enter into a construction agreement with BNSF Railway for the pedestrian improvements on the 44th Avenue Bridge from East River Road to Main Street in the city of Fridley. This project is not new at all to the Transportation Committee or this board, but because of the uniqueness of this bridge spanning over the BNSF property, they have requested to revise some legal descriptions originally recorded in 1975 to clarify the description of the existing easement area. In addition, we have successfully negotiated a new construction agreement describing roles and responsibilities, as well as terms and conditions of this project for both parties. The agreement was provided to the Transportation Committee and is included in today's meeting packet. The project is scheduled to begin construction in February of 2025.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Schulte. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any questions or comments? Through the, just a quick, through the negotiations, and they said they're changing some of the right-of-way. Were there any hangups that were concerned about, or was it pretty much standard?
I'll let Joe take it from here.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. My name is Joe McPherson. I'm the Chief Officer of Transportation and County Engineer. Regarding the agreement, I think the descriptions were just written so long ago that at the time, and now with the new coordinates that we have and the new information we have, we were just tidying things up. So it was just the simple back and forth between the two agencies to put this together.
Okay, good, good. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none. This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Gibson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Item number 3.
Great. So now that we've gotten the agreements with BNSF Railroad finalized, the committee would next like to recommend approval to enter into a professional services contract with TKDA for construction administration services for this work. The more I hear about this project, the more uniqueness and complexities that are involved in this project. For example, we are not able to impact BNSF's day-to-day functions. So all the work that is going to be on this project is going to be from the top down instead of the bottom up. So it adds a huge level of complexity. So we really need a really responsible partner to do this work with us, and we have found that with TKDA. So they will perform the construction administration and inspections services associated with the proposed improvements. Their proposal came in at $883,900. The project will be out for bid no later than January of 2025. So as mentioned before, so that the project can begin February of 2025 in hopes of from start to finish, it will be completed within that construction season. Funds for the project include federal funds, state bridge bond funds, county state aid highway funds, and other local funds. So I am asking for approval for contract C00110303.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Meisner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any questions? Any comments? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 4.
The next item that the committee is recommending for approval is to enter into contract C00111279, which is a professional services contract with WSB for the design, permitting, and environmental documentation services associated with the intersection improvements at 7th Avenue Northwest and 165th Northwest in the city of Andover. 7th Avenue Northwest is preliminary and north-south road, but there's two specific intersections, 2 horizontal east-west curves within this project. Over the past few years, there have been 2 fatal crashes in that area, and so to address the existing safety concerns, Anoka County submitted a Highway Safety Improvement Program application and was awarded federal funding to construct a roundabout in 2026 at this intersection. WSB provided a proposal to continue design services through the project completion. Staff reviewed and compared that proposal to similar scoped contracts and projects and found that the proposal was comparable to those proposals received from the initial RFP. Again, construction is scheduled to begin in 2026.
Do I have a motion on this?
I'll move it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Schulte, and I will second it. This has always been a curve that has some issues, and I'm glad that we're finally able to get to this roundabout. I know a lot of people are not as excited about some roundabouts, but I think this one is the perfect opportunity and a perfect position to put a roundabout, just because of the nature of the 2 roads coming in, both coming in at a curve. It just fits perfectly for what roundabouts can do. Commissioner Schulte.
Mr. Chair, for those unfamiliar with the description of where this might be, it's the Turkey Farm S-curves. That may be more familiar to some people. Although the turkey barns are gone now, housing development that's kind of a landmark area.
Absolutely. Any other comments? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner.
She's coming. I should have spread it out a little bit.
Apologies. Aye.
Heinrich. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 5.
The final action item on today's agenda is that the committee recommends approval of contract C00111284, which is a subrecipient grant agreement with Met Council for a 1 year starting January 1, 2025 and expiring December 31st, 2025. The subrecipient grant agreement is an annual renewal with Met Council that has funded Anoka County's transportation management organization, otherwise known as Commute Solutions. Since 2004, the total budget for this grant is $262,500 and requires a 20% local match, which means that the grant amount is $210,000 from Met Council, and our local match is $52,500, which is accounted for in the 2025 transit budget.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brassad. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion. See none, this roll call vote.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously.
There were no further action items to discuss, but there were two informational items that I wanted to point out. The first is that we received an update from ICS regarding the completion of our Coon Lake shop in the northeastern portion of the county. This is a great addition to that part of the county, which will house up to 6 plow trucks and staff and equipment from Highway and Parks Department, as well as the Sheriff's Office. We're really looking forward to a future Transportation Committee meeting being held there. The second informational item we also discussed were the revisions and modifications to the Anoka County right-of-way ordinance. Making these revisions and modifications to the ordinance is essential for a number of reasons, including ensuring that the use aligns with state laws, serving the health, safety, and well-being of all who pass through our county, governing the permitting and administration of right-of-way use, regulating the placement and maintenance of public and private facilities and equipment, and it preserves the county's authority to enforce measures necessary for public welfare. So with that, Mr. Chair, I conclude the Transportation Committee's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Jepson. We'll move to the Transportation Committee Chair report. Commissioner Jepson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Pardon me. As Chair of the Transportation Committee, I would like to offer for approval of Resolution 2024 TR43. This resolution authorizes Anoka County to enter into contract C00-11269. This is a cooperative agreement between us, Minnesota Department of Transportation, and the City of Blaine to replace an existing traffic signal at Trunk Highway 47 or University Avenue at 85th Avenue. Over the last few years, we have tragically learned of increasing fatal and serious crashes that have also taken the lives of pedestrians. Because of this, MnDOT is taking action through a partnership with Anoka County and the City of Blaine, and has secures Highway Safety Improvement Program funds for improvements at this intersection, which includes a lot of improvements because this intersection needs a lot of help. Some of the improvements include upgraded ADA accessible pedestrian facilities, removal of free right turn lanes in southwest and southeast quadrants to reduce the number of potential pedestrian and vehicle conflict points and shorten the intersection crossing distance for pedestrians, replace existing controlled traffic signal systems, extending sidewalks, as well as many other overall improvements. Consistent with MnDOT's cost participation policy, Anoka County and Blaine are responsible for a portion of the project costs. Each of us, Anoka County and the City of Blaine, have estimated portion is approximately the same, which is $174,250. Construction will begin in the spring of 2025.
Thank you. Do I have an offer of the resolution?
So offered.
It's been offered. Any discussion? Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, is this a chair report just because I assume some things had to happen and then, okay, and then it has to be timely? Very good. That was my only question. Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye. That passes unanimously.
And with that, Mr. Chair, it concludes the chair report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jepson. We'll move down to Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. Commissioner Reinert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My Finance and Capital Improvements Committee met on December 5th. All were present, and there was no public comment. We've got a couple items for you today to consider. The committee recommends the county board move to approve the following master landscape tree service and summer maintenance programs contracts. Contract number C0011-250, and this is with A-Plus Outdoor Services in Ham Lake. Contract number C0011-290, And this is with Clearscape Outdoor Services in New Brighton, contract number C0011291, and this is with Best Outdoor Services in Roseville, contract number C0011292, with Grounds Maintenance Service in Elk River, contract number C0011293 with Birch Tree Care in Vadnais Heights, contract number C0011294, Precision Landscape and Tree in Little Canada. And all of these companies that we contract with will be used by many different departments, actually. So I'd like to present that for action.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Reinert, second by Commissioner Meisner. Any discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich, Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 2.
Item number 2, the committee recommends the county board move to adopt resolution number 2024 F4, and this is providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation capital improvement plan bonds, series number 2025A, in the proposed aggregate principal of $22 million. In October, the county held a public hearing and authorized preliminary approval of the bond issuance in a not-to-exceed amount of $22 million. The bonds are planned to fund the residual cost of the Emergency Communications Center building that was not covered by the American Rescue Plan Act, state and local fiscal recovery funds. The design costs thus far for the parking ramp project and the cost for the Rum River Campus Decentralization Program. The projects are all within the approved 2024 to 2028 capital improvement plan. And Mr. Chair, I'd move to adopt resolution 2024 F4.
The resolution has been offered by Commissioner Reinert. Do have any questions or comments? Seeing none, this roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich, Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Any informational items, Commissioner?
Nope, that rest is routine and informational. That completes my report, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Reinert. We move to Human Services Committee report. Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Human Services Committee, we met on December 5th in this building. There was no public comments for action item number 1 in person, nor did I have any via email, but I do accept them. Anyone may email me at mandy.meisner@anokacounty.mn.gov. The first action items are our consent agenda. We have a couple of things underneath economic assistance, as well as public health and environmental services. Pretty standard things happening there. You can see the details, but I will go ahead and move the consent agenda.
The motion.
I'm sorry, number 1 and 2. Can we take them together? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
I think so, yep. The consent, they were both under consent, so they're the consent items 1 and 2 has been moved by Commissioner Meisner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion, questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich, Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Item number 3.
Item number 3 falls under Human Services Administration. This is to recommend the approval to authorize contract C0011208 with Next Chapter Technology to purchase CaseWorks Case Management System and Client Portal in the amount of $6,170,835. And this is for the purchase of human services software. This is for a 5-year term to streamline workflows, assist with high-volume case management, and leverage statewide tools. I will say that I am personally very excited to have this. You can see there is a hefty price tag. However, this is being funded for state, federal, and county funds. This is going to be streamlining case management and really helping, obviously, our social workers, but that our clients at the end of the day will have a much faster way of receiving funds. The feedback or the history of this particular company was very impressive. There has been 100% satisfaction, and multiple counties have already engaged in a contract with them. So far, everything looks really good. So I will go ahead and offer this.
Been a motion by Commissioner Meisner. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Reiner. Discussion or questions, comments? Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, it is a very hefty price tag. And we had a really good discussion at Human Services about the price tag and what it will mean for staff. And having over 60 of the Minnesota counties using this software is a really big testament to the quality. But also what we've also learned and understand is through Human Services and with state and federal systems, they are very antiquated and very challenging to work through. So updating a new technology for our staff is very positive, but I also know that we had made comments about being the dollar amount and the value that it truly does add, not just the value of time, but the value of, stress and energy and the savings of dollars. And so I look forward to this implementation. I really do hope that it improves your job quality for those who are using it, but I also look forward to a year or so from now, seeing what that value of time and money and those dollars spent gets back on that return on that $6 million investment. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I also want to echo that. I mean, Human Services is the largest area of service that we provide in the county. And I've been involved with Human Services since I got here 5 years ago. And one of the things that, I support and have been working towards since I got here, as soon as I noticed how terrible the systems are. People are working on systems that are older than they are in some cases. So I'm going to support all systems modernization efforts that can happen because, it just creates more efficiency and better service for those who we serve.
Yeah, I do think that people would be surprised at how old and antiquated the
There are
systems.
systems that are DOS, yeah.
Yes,
so.
yeah, they're nobody's working on that anywhere in any kind of corporate area. So we have a motion and a second. This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich. Aye. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. Item number 4.
Item number 4 falls under Community Corrections. This is for the renewal of the State of Minnesota income contract between Minnesota Correctional Facility, the Lino Lakes, and the Anoka County Juvenile Center in Lino Lakes. So the committee does ask for the approval of contract C0011245. And this contract actually has been going on for several years. It is a really good partnership, and the pricing is also satisfactory. So you can see some of the terms as well as the details with the pricing, but I will go ahead and move this.
Now we have a motion by Commissioner Meiser. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Reiner. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich. Aye. Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item number 5.
Item number 5 falls under Public Health and Environmental Services. This is to approve contract C0011295, Household Hazardous Waste Metropolitan Inter-County Reciprocal Use Agreement. This is between Anoka, Carver, Dakota, Scott, Washington, Hennepin, and Ramsey counties for January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029. So each county, we provide a household hazardous waste management program for residents, and we recognize that there is regional benefit resulting from increasing the availability of management facilities for household hazardous waste. So this contract addresses that. The funding source is a solid waste management charge, and we have been part of this intercounty reciprocal use agreement since 2012. So the previous one was approved in 2018, and that was for a 6-year term. So I will go ahead and move this as well.
We have a motion by Commissioner Meiser. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schulte. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 6.
Item number 6 falls under the Job Training Program, and the committee asks the board to approve amendment to contract C00-10397 to authorize to renew the contract with the Anoka County Community Action Program, also known as ACAP, for contract C00-11286 for 2025 to fund a transportation coordinator. This position provides transportation coordination services, which includes the development of transportation plans for Minnesota Family Investment Program, MFIB, and the Diversionary Work Program participants, and provide other related services. The contract period is for January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 in the amount of $107,479.29. This position is highly needed and actually helps out with obviously transportation, but also coordination with a variety of programs. The funding here is other sources, so this does not come out of our county levy. And I will go ahead and move this.
Been moved by Commissioner Meiser. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any questions, comments? Hearing none? Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Meiser.
I guess, so the amendment, I did want to just voice then, this is a $4,000 amendment, and this is basically just supporting market rate adjustments for this position.
If there's nothing else, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
That passes unanimously. Commissioner, are there any informational items?
No, there were no informational items, so that concludes my report.
All right, we'll move down to the IT report. The IT committee met here on, was it October 16th, really? Okay. All right, so we have 2 action items. The Information Technology Committee recommends the county board approve master contract C00-11035 with All State Communications of Sauk Rapids, Minnesota for the purchase of services related to cabling projects with the beginning contract of November 1st, 2024 for 3 years, having an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year terms. If we would like to. And this is a master contract with All State Communications that allows us to, oh, I'm sorry.
Apologies, Commissioners. This is the old agenda. This
Okay.
is not the correct agenda.
So if I have this,
We have a copy of a correct one, but yes, there's the December one is different.
okay.
December 5th.
Do you have that on yours? Thank you. No. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Yes, December 5th was the meeting. I thought October sounded like a long ways away. So we have 2 action items, and I'm going to assume that they're both going to be roll call votes. But the Information Technology Committee recommends the county approve the purchase under the state contract with Macro Technologies LLC, St. Cloud, Minnesota, to renew the county's Cisco Unified Communication Services for the additional 5 years in the amount of $899,820.60 with a 20% contingency of $179,964.02 for a total not to exceed $1,079,784.08. Unified Communications consists of hardware, software, and services that provide multiple communication methods, including phone, physical, and soft phone, video, messaging, voicemail, content sharing. In late 2016, the county purchased a unified communication system and implemented the new solution throughout 2017. This system has served the county well. Our system provides nearly seamless ability to communicate regardless of where the employee is located. The quote includes 60 months of UC services, including Cisco UC Enterprise Licensing Agreement, Cisco CCX for contact center licenses, and Cisco Trunk Session licenses, which is acronym is CUBE. This new agreement will combine all of the above services into one new agreement. These services are prorated to join this new 5-year agreement as their current term ends in 2025. The updated term date for all services would be 2/28/2030, except for WebEx. I think if that, Commissioner Schulte, you have a question?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, those of us on the IT committee have obviously seen this.
Yep.
We were at the committee meeting and heard the presentation, and this was a unanimous vote there. But the commissioners that weren't there haven't ever seen this. They haven't had a chance to review it at all. So we probably either need a presentation right now from either VJ or Michael, or we need to table this until they have a chance to read it or study it.
Yeah.
Unless we want to just vote on it as an IT committee again here, because we have a majority of the board as an IT committee, but that's maybe shorting those commissioners an opportunity to really understand it.
Yeah.
And maybe we just take their opinion right now as to whether they want to vote on it or whether they want to study it.
Sure. And I know that since we have 4, it's myself, Commissioner Reiner, Commissioner Meisner, and Commissioner Schulte, and I believe Commissioner Jepsen, you were at that IT committee. So for Commissioner Brasted and Heinrich, would you like Michael to give an update on this?
Yes, please.
Okay. Not to put you on the spot there, Mike. Oh, Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Thank you for this because I was kind of confused about what commissioners had presented in our package because I actually do have the what you had, Mr. Chair, of October 16th. But I thought I heard some commissioner had the update. Some
No, I think you
no,
just-
no one did. Oh, okay, okay, very good.
Go ahead, Michael.
All right, thank you, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Michael Winters. I'm the IT Infrastructure Services Manager working for VJ as the CIO. So the UC Communications, that's the back end of our phone system. So anytime you pick up the physical phone or you make a phone call through your computer, that allows the UC is the back end of that actually accomplishing that. So we do voice gateways and all this equipment. He's talking about the hardware. And the bulk of this is really trying to get the licensing in line so that when contracts expire for all the different services, because Cisco likes to break everything out into its own little piece. So this is just aligning all of those contracts to end in 2030 so we can be in line with that. And then as we move through our Microsoft 365 migration, we recently completed Exchange and moving that out to the cloud. One of the things we're looking at is Teams. So that's why WebEx is specifically mentioned in here, because that's potentially a shorter contract so that we aren't stuck with that for the next 5 years if we move to Teams and actually implement that piece, because that would replace it. But we don't have any intention of switching our actual phone system, the back end of that, away from Cisco at this time. So that's the reflection of that as well.
Any questions from anybody on the board regarding item number 2? Or, yeah, it's item number 2 on the action items, yes.
I'll move approval, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Schulte, second by Commissioner Meisner. Now, are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none. This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepsen.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brasted.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. So we'll move to item 3, and we'll let Michael do an update on that one too. The Information Technology Committee recommends the county board approve purchases for the NetApp Storage Refresh Project with the following vendors, and there are a number of them. Insight Public Sector, we won't go into all their names. Let's see, it's for, let me get down to the equipment for 5 years of support in the amount of $1,394,821.08 with a contingency of 20% of $278,964.22 for a total not to exceed $1,673,785.30. Michael, I'll let you give us the update.
Thank you. So again, thank you, Chair and Commissioners. So for this one, there's actually 2 pieces that are in that request. One is for the NetApp storage. So this is just the raw hard drive storage back in of all the stuff that we manage, both from a data perspective, but also from a server perspective. So we do a lot of virtualization of servers, and that all resides on those NetApp pieces of hardware as well. So this is the normal life cycle. It's just the 5 years that we expected to have the equipment be replaced, and then the professional services to actually bring someone in to help us implement it, make sure we get it right, because the actual implementation of it is not our area of expertise. That's more why we rely on that vendor. Plus, the original person who helped us implement our NetApps equipment back, I think, 10 years ago is the exact same person we're going to engage with again, and he's been there the whole time. So we very thoroughly trust this individual to be able to do that in an effective way. The other piece of that are we're actually getting an additional, they're called Leafs, but for our Cisco networking equipment, we're have a plan to transition some of our equipment over into the new emergency communications building, or the new 911 center. And in order for us to do that, we have to have some additional networking equipment in order to expand that network over to there and to get the full functionality out of those NetApp appliances that will be sitting in that location. So that's the additional piece that you'll see there. And I think originally we budgeted like 2.3 million, somewhere in that range, and so we were able to get it substantially less than we had originally thought we were going to. So we were very happy about that too.
Yeah, thank you. And this was also funding source capital equipment program. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Jepson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any questions? Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It sounds like a good project, but I just wanted to call out and thank Michael for always being able to explain things in like common verbiage to someone that is not a techie. So over the years, over the time discussing things with you, I have always appreciated, how you explain things. I think he does a really good job. So just wanted to call that out.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
That's absolutely. Any other discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We had a little bit of just additional items. We talked about department updates, which things have been moving along. Thank you, VJ, for all the hard work over this. Now that you're here now for one official year. We can't call you the new guy anymore. So, but it's been going well, and a lot of things have been happening in IT, and it's probably one of the fastest moving departments because of just all the stuff that goes on. So I appreciate that. We'll move down to Intergovernmental Relations Committee report. Commissioner Reiner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My Intergovernmental and Community Relations Committee met on December 5th. All committee members were present, and we did have no public comment. We have one item in front of you to consider today, and that is our Anoka County Legislative Platform and Agenda. We work with lobbyists at the federal and state level, and there are many items that we have as legislative priorities every year. And this action will approve what we've been discussing for quite some time as those legislative agendas and priorities for this year. I'll just name a couple of them. I mean, this could be a long item here, but for transportation, I won't go into all of those initiatives there, but always we are looking for dollars for all the projects that we have going on countywide. Parks, there's a couple items there. There is a missing link in my district that's we've been trying to get funding for about 35 years. It's the Rice Creek North Regional Trail, and so we'll swing that bat again and try to get some funding for that. The medical examiner. So we've got our medical examiner's office that works with, I think it's 47 counties and I think 3 states now. And we've been working now, me personally on this too, 5 years, and trying to get a death certificate issue resolved. Basically, as an example, personalize it here. My dad's 93 years old and he served. His main clinician is the VA. And if he does not see his main clinician within 90 days of passing, the VA, there's a chance they're not going to sign his death certificate. If that happens, the family, my family, would have to wait around for as much as 6 weeks or better, waiting for a death certificate to be signed. It gets passed over to our county then to basically do the investigative work and seek all the reports and everything from the VA that should have signed the death certificate in the first place. And that can take a lot of time, and it causes a lot of grief for military families. Everybody's wondering, why isn't there funeral plans? You can't do access any benefits or move any finances around or anything, you need a death certificate. So I thought when we first started working on this 5 years ago, well, this is going to be a layup. Everybody's going to understand this problem and want to solve it. But the VA is a big animal to move and wrestle. And so we've been getting support slowly across the country on this issue, and I hope we can get it resolved this year. License and passport service, a few years back, we have all of our license and passport service centers around the county, and they used to edge out, a profit, and now they are losing a lot of money, and that's because of some state legislation that moved a lot of what those service centers did online and to go directly to the state. And so we're looking for some legislative correction there. A lot of general items, but I want to bring up one that we didn't even know was a problem when we were starting to discuss all of our legislative priorities for 2025, and that is, it happened in elections. The legislature last session, passed some legislation that allowed for absentee ballots to come in until 8 o'clock at night on Election Day, and it used to be a 3 o'clock deadline. Well, that caused everything to back up 5 hours. Anoka County is usually one of the first counties out of 87 in the state of Minnesota to have election reporting up online. But this year, we were probably one of the last. We didn't report until I think it was 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If you do the math, we usually have it by 10, 2 to 3 in the morning. That's about 5 hours later. The state needs to do one of two things. So we had our Association of Minnesota Counties convention just a week ago. I serve as board of directors on the Association of Minnesota Counties, and so we've been working for months and months on all of our legislative priorities. We didn't even know this was a problem, so I did put forth some ideas for resolving this with working with the legislature for 2025. We either need to move this back to 3 o'clock so we don't have these delays, or I did suggest also an update on the Minnesota website, Minnesota's Secretary of State's website, so that counties can report. The way it works right now is when we report numbers, it says either 100% of your precincts have been reported, but it doesn't say how many votes in each of those precincts have been reported. So it's a bit of a mess. Some counties decided to report as the results were coming in, which caused all kinds of problems because the state website said that 100% was reporting. It was only 100% of the precincts, but not the votes, but nobody knew that. And so people went to bed last night thinking they won or lost an election, woke up, and some people were surprised the following morning. We waited because when we wanted to report, we wanted it to be accurate and complete. And so the counties that reported early, I think, are looking at Anoka County, and although we took a lot of grief for waiting and getting it right, they're all looking at us as you guys did it right. Regardless, though, needs to be some legislative correction on this. There's already a lot of question about election integrity and everything. We just don't need to add to that conversation. So with that, I'll present these as an action that we need to consider today for our legislative priorities for 2025.
We have a motion by Commissioner Reinhardt for our legislative platform. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Commissioner Mize, you have a question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, one was just going to be a commentary or comment, and then now I have a question, just for the public, and they can see this, but we're dividing this into basically two sections. One is items to actively lobby for as a county, Anoka County, and the others are to support with others. So just to make that distinction. But now I have a question because, yes, we did talk about that in the IG committee. I believe most of us were unanimous in support of what Commissioner Reinhardt was talking about, but I don't see this anywhere on what we're about to pass. So I don't know if that is just commentary then on your part and there's sort of what we all agreed on, or if it should be on here for support with others. So that's my process question.
Oh, good
Well,
point.
I guess, there is a process that we, go through, and it takes months to get things approved and on this list. We didn't discuss the elections issue and the legislation that we'd like to have changed there because we didn't know it was a problem until November 5th. We can add it, I guess, as a group if we want to. I know that the Association of Minnesota Counties and that group didn't have it on their platform either, but they all agreed. In fact, I got a round of applause with that group when I presented this because everyone felt the pinch on this legislation that was changed, and it absolutely needs to be acted on. So they're going to be adding it later. We can do that too, but I'll leave it up to the board and what they want to do.
Oh, and
Commissioner Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to thank Commissioner Reinhardt. I know at AMC it was my first conference, and it was good to be there with you all. But thank you for bringing that up to leadership over there. Hopefully they can amend their legislative agenda, or we can move forward as a unified group here once session starts here this year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, there wasn't one dissenting opinion on that a change has to happen, so I'm sure we'll move something forward there.
Commissioner Meisner.
yeah, no, thank you, Mr. Chair. And yeah, as a board here then today, I don't mean to throw a wrench. I did just want to talk about that though. And anecdotally, I completely agree with you, Commissioner Reinert, that every commissioner I've talked to as well feels the same way about this election change. I'm just wondering then, do we wait then as a board to amend it formally later, or do we want to add that now? And it's just a question for process, and I'm willing to support either one.
Okay. County Attorney Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the county board. If it's the will of the county board, the person who made the motion to pass the legislative agenda could move to amend their motion to add it to items to support with others. I'm assuming it would be with AMC, and that is to support a legislative change to the election laws as described by Commissioner Reinert. That would require the second to that motion, but you could amend it to add it under transportation and just be elections and then to support that legislative change.
Well, if there is no opposition, and I haven't heard any yet, I would like to add that elections legislation change to our list.
So we'll go back to the person that did the second from the first one. And that was Commissioner Meisner. Is that good with you?
Aye, yes.
So that's your second to the motion to amend?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm so sorry, but then I just have a question for you, because you mentioned it should live under transportation, and I'm questioning.
No, that's not what I said.
That's not what you said.
What I said is it would be under area, it would be under elections,
Oh, okay, thank you.
and then it would be still under items to support with others.
Yes,
And then it would be to pursue a legislative change to return to an appropriate, what had been previously the 3 o'clock reporting period for absentee ballots. But I think whatever the elections department and our lobbyists can work out with the state with respect to a change to improve the speed and ability to report absentee ballots, I think is what the board is looking for.
Okay.
I would also say the county attorney would also support that, but I don't have a vote, so.
Commissioner Reinert.
Ideally, we would like to have it changed back to 3 o'clock because that made the most sense for everyone that I spoke with on this topic. But as a second offering, I did say also, well, if you're not going to do that, and for whatever reason, because they can do whatever they want, at least update the website so it's accurate reporting and so that we can, not have everybody hanging around waiting for reporting until 3 o'clock in the morning. I stayed up. I'd rather go to bed.
I did too, and so I think that fairly describes what the county's goals are with the legislative agenda.
Great. Jim.
No, and that's an easy change. We can just make that modification to the sheet, and no problem.
Okay.
All right,
So we
thank
should
you.
vote on this
Yes.
part first. So, okay. Any discussion anybody wants on this part of the vote? Yes.
Chair Gamache, I have Commissioner Jepson seconding that, so would she need to approve this amendment, or the second?
thank you.
Okay.
So you actually,
I move to approve.
okay. Thank you. Thanks for keeping us straight. All right. So if there's no other discussion, this is voting on the addition part. And does this need to be a roll call? No, probably not. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. And then we have the motion, the original motion for the entire thing with now this new addition on there, and that, I believe, does need to be, no, it doesn't. Nope, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, our Anoka County legislative platform items have been adopted.
And then I just have one additional information item. And our annual legislative delegation meeting will take place at the Blaine Human Services Center on Monday, January 6th, and that completes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Reiner, and thank you, Tanya, for stepping up, but we got it all. We'll move down to the Parks report. Commissioner Reiner.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. My committee met on December 4th, and all committee members were present, and there was no public comment. We've got a couple items in front of you today. The first one, let's see, this is the committee recommending the county board move to authorize 3 amendments to existing grant agreements with the Metropolitan Council. The first one is contract number C0008474, extending the expiration date from December 31st, 2024 to December 31st, 2025 for design and engineering of the Rice Creek North Regional Trail. Actually, in intergovernmental, I did talk about the missing link. This is that project. We did get $500,000, I think it was a couple of years ago, for design. Let me get to it here. And we've been moving through those dollars, and an issue that's come up is we've been doing a lot of archaeological digging and investigation on the site, and we keep coming up with more issues. I guess we keep finding arrowheads and such, and so the state wants us to continue to investigate that site before any work can be done. This is in conjunction with us also trying to get funding for the project itself, but those archaeological digs have set back our timeline a little bit, and the Met Council is, allowing us to extend. So that's one item. Another item under this action is Anoka County contract number C0010188, amending the original grant for Bunker Hills Regional Park improvement project in the amount of $1.521454 million and 21 cents, expiring June 30th. 2027, to include an additional amount of $1,814,743.05 for a total grant amount of $3,336,207.26, and it's expiring June 20th, 2028. This is basically to reconstruct roadways, parking lots and trails, building improvements, and to reconstruct one of our playgrounds. The third item on this action item is Anoka County contract number C0010190, amending the original grant for natural resource management in the amount of $75,000 expiring June 30th, 2027, to include an additional amount of $75,000 for the total grant amount of $150,000 expiring June 30th, 2028. So basically, this is for an additional $75,000 and the expansion of the deadline. And so, in all 3 of these items, we've discussed with the Met Council, and they are okay with. And I should add, there's a lot of dollars being thrown around here. All of these projects are state funded.
So did you make that motion?
Yeah, I'd make that motion.
Okay. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Schulte, made by Commissioner Reiner. Discussion, questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Gibson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Item number 2.
Item number 2, my committee recommends that the county board enter into a license agreement with BAE Systems for a fence at Riverfront Regional Park. This is contract number C0011273. BAE Systems, located in Fridley, has requested to install additional fencing in Riverfront Regional Park to restrict access to a location where contaminated groundwater seeps out of the riverbank. This area is located at the southern border of the park and abuts the Minneapolis Waterworks facility. Even though the seepage poses no threat to the public, the MPCA, that's Minneapolis or the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, requires access be restricted, and so that's what this fence will do. This is going to be a project that is going to be funded by BAE.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Meisner made the motion, Commissioner Jepson seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Passes unanimously. Item number 3.
Okay, we've got one more item for your consideration today, and this is the committee recommends to the county board to adopt a resolution of support for resolution number 2024 PRK 13 to assist Anoka County in preventing and reducing the spread of aquatic invasive species. The 2014 Omnibus tax bill signed into law by the governor, established a new county aid program administered by the Department of Revenue to assist Minnesota counties in preventing the spread of aquatic invasive species. The funds are distributed by formula, with half of the funds distributed based on the number of public water accesses sites in each county, and the other half based on the number of parking spaces at all water access points. The aid amount allocated to Anoka County for 2025 is $130,100. This is State of Minnesota County Aid Program allocation dollars, and I'd move to adopt Resolution 2024 PRK 13.
Commissioner Meisner or Commissioner Reinert has moved the resolution. Any discussion?
I'll second it. Oh, it's a resolution.
Yep, resolution, yep. Yeah, this has been a great program since it passed in 2014. It has helped a lot, and I think it has actually educated the public a great deal on this, on how to make sure that these types of aquatic invasive species, as you see on your screen up there, show that we don't, especially those mussels or those things. So they're pretty bad. So, and we haven't really run into anything. Things have been going well. If Jeff Perry is here with us, he can give a quick update, but I think we've done a pretty good job of making sure these invasive species have been held in bay in most cases in Anoka lakes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. My name is Jeff Perry, Park Director for Anoka County. And yes, this $130,000 appropriation goes to good use. We hire a person to oversee the program. We hire inspectors to put out at the local boat launches, which in Anoka County, in total, we have 24 public boat launches to educate, to conduct the inspections. And then we also have a local grants program that we work with local lake associations to help them manage their resources. Thanks to Commissioner Brassad, a number of years ago, we put that program together. So with that said, the money's going to good cause. We're a decade into it. I think we've made a difference. And as Commissioner Gamache had noted, the zebra mussels are probably one of the worst invaders in the state of Minnesota. We do have them in the Mississippi River and the Rum Rivers, but knock on wood, we don't have any in our local lakes. And we engage the citizens to help monitor. We're in the local schools, and we're out in the community to do our best to educate the public on this. So we greatly appreciate your support of the resolution here this morning.
Thank you, Jeff. Any comments? Otherwise, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Any informational items, Commissioner Reiner?
As always, you know, during our park committee meetings, the work of the Anoka County Parks Department is vast, and so we usually get updates on a lot of different things. We did have some updates on the Rice Creek West Regional Trail reconstruction with Lock Park, designed with an engineering firm. Some updates that are happening in the lower level over at Wargo Nature Center. Cordiac Park with the replacement of pavilion there, that's ongoing. And yeah, we could talk for a long time. Like I said, the work of the Parks Department is vast in this county, and thank you for all that you do, Jeff. And that completes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Reiner. We'll move down to Public Safety Committee Chair Report, Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just have one quick item today, and that is that I would recommend adoption of Resolution 2024-PS09, accepting dedicated donations from the Andover Lions Club and Andover Huskies Football Association. The Lions Club is donating an amount not to exceed $1,000, and Andover Huskies Football Association is donating $3,500. And that will be used to support the Shop for a Cop program. And I'll offer that resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner Brasted. Any comments? Commissioner Jepson?
Yeah, just one clarifying question. I know that there's some amazing Shop with the Cop programs going on right now. So is this to have people go shopping for a cop or for children with the cop's participation? Just wanted to clarify that one little word.
I think it's Shop with the Cop. I think it was an error in the typo in typing it up. Because they're not shopping for a cop, but they do take some children out and do some shopping. And they've been so good. We have Chip here with us.
Good morning, Commissioners. Wayne Heath with the Anoka County Sheriff's Office. Yes, this is a Shop with a Cop program, so we take first responders and we have detention staff and reserves and deputies and other staff from our jail. And we have families that have already been identified, and we take those children out to different stores and then shop. They have some activities at the Sheriff's Office, wrap presents and stuff like that. So it is a program just like described. But what amazing how one word can make a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. And now we'll move down to additional items, and we have a couple additional items before us. Oh, and the first one, there's A and B, but it's consider the following as recommended by the Management Committee. So Commissioner Meiser, if you want to walk us through, do you have?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the additional agenda, the Management Committee, we did meet this morning, and there are two items that we discussed this morning that will come obviously directly now today. As you guys know, I am not a fan necessarily of having things going straight to the board. However, this is, again, a timely thing, so in order to make sure that we are on track with procedures, that we are doing that today. This morning, though, there were no public comments, and for the agenda item, the first one is to consider Resolution 2024-M3. This is to approve the tentative agreement between Anoka County and law enforcement labor services contracts. So this is representing the 911 dispatchers for the calendar year of 2025 through 2027. It is for contract number C00113114, excuse me. So I'll just make a couple of notes that this is a 3-year contract. These can vary between 1 to 3 years. I am personally in favor of a longer year contract or multi-year. I think it just helps for consistency and stability. Everything is pretty standard. There's a 3% increase available for all those 3 years, as well as some process for an event that if there are any market rate adjustments, that there is a process involved that we could do that quickly and without reopening the contract altogether. So those are kind of the two main things to make of note, and I will go ahead and move that.
Okay, this is, so you're offering the resolution?
I'm sorry, I'm offering the resolution,
Very
yes.
good. This is actually 1A, and then we'll have a 1B, and then 2 will be a separate thing. So, all right, we have this. Any questions, comments? Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, apparently we need to learn to call them public safety telecommunicators because they're formerly known as 911 dispatchers.
Good point. Good point. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Hi.
That passes unanimously. Item B, Commissioner Meiser, is that?
Thank
that
you,
came
Mr.
before
Chair. Yes, item number B is to approve the elimination of the unfunded positions listed by PC, which stands for Personnel Control Numbers below. There are, I believe, 16. And so we have been basically streamlining our processes around this over the last couple of years. These personnel control numbers follow a position as well as responsibility when and if the departments decide that this is no longer available, or I shouldn't say available, no longer needed, then we take them off of the books and then have an accurate and clean slate every time that we are actually, or they are making a request for new positions. So that is what is before us today, and I will go ahead and move that as well.
Okay. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner, second by Commissioner Brassad. Any follow-up, any questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. So item number 2, did that come before your committee as well, Commissioner Meisner, or is that just an additional item? That's just an additional item, I think.
I believe that is an additional item.
Okay. So since you didn't handle it, I'll take it. Item number 2 is to consider approving contract C 0011327 for cyber liability insurance.
I'll move it, Mr. Chair.
Second.
It's got a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Heinrich.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. So that concludes the committee reports and the additional item agenda. So we'll move down to item number 9, which to consider transitioning the Anoka County Regional Economic Development, otherwise known as AC Red, to an internal county initiative effective January 10th, 2025. Concurrent with the expiration of AC Red Memorandum of Understanding for the Anoka County Economic Development. We've got Greg here to explain, and I believe he has contacted all of us moving into this, but we'll have an opportunity for some questions, but I'll turn it over to you, Greg.
Wonderful. Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. Greg From Gillis, Economic Development Director for the county. This is a continuation of conversation that we had at the recent workshop last month. AC Red was created in 2018, a unique partnership of all 21 municipalities where the municipalities financially contributed to the operating expenses for economic development. My position is a county position on county payroll. AC Red has had numerous successes in business support and is supported widely by the municipalities. In recent years, especially post-COVID, there's been significant changes in how businesses operate and thus economic development strategies to support those businesses and the communities needs to change as well. AC Red had a strategic plan completed throughout 2024. It was recently approved on November 26th. Anticipating some of those changes. Within that strategic plan, there are 2 key recommendations. One was a modification of the organizational structure of AC Red, and then also the funding structure for AC Red. So in order to ensure that we can remain responsive to the municipalities and continue with economic vibrancy and resiliency within the communities, we also decided that there's value in changing those AC Red organizational structure and funding structure. So within the single action item, there's kind of 2 main pieces to this. The first is to bring economic development services in-house as a county initiative, and that would replace the municipalities as financial contributors for operating expenses for economic development. Those program expenses are already included in the approved budget for 2025, and there's not a request for any additional funds today. The second related piece to that is a vote that would essentially be a policy action to allow for the MOU with the municipalities to expire, which would help kind of facilitate that transition and be a signal to the municipalities of this new direction. I do want to reaffirm that all services currently being provided to the municipalities in economic development support, our marketing, our attraction, our events, exposure at MNCAR Expo, and everything that we're currently doing for the municipalities, all that is going to remain the same. This is just going to increase capacity and allow for a more robust economic development strategy. So I'll leave it at that and open for questions.
All right. Thank you, Greg, and I wasn't sure. Anybody have any questions regarding, I think we actually need a motion, correct?
I'll move it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Schulte. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reinert. And then questions or have some discussion. Commissioner Meisner, see your
Oh,
hand up.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, just commentary. I mean, I'm really glad and I appreciate all the time that went into this to figure this out. Obviously, a lot of things have changed, primarily too from COVID-19, right? And figuring all that out. And then I did too just want to, I guess, make mention because I remember, I don't know if the report was in 2017 or 18, but I remember the Metro North Chamber of Commerce, Lori Higgins and Connexus, they're the ones that really instigated AC Red, essentially, right? So they did this whole study, came up with all of these kind of conclusions, and I remember at the time, Lori Higgins saying, I do not want this sitting on a shelf. And so the partnership with Anoka County to actually do something about it was huge. And over the last couple of years, again, since emerging from COVID, I mean, just personally, I was kind of worried, like, is this going to flounder and fail? Is this going to disband? So the fact that you guys are regrouping and refocusing, I think is huge, and I'm really glad to see it because the goals are still there. It's just the approach needs to be a little bit different. So again, thank you. Really appreciate that. And I fully support this.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, obviously, for the cities that are doing economic development, for the county to be an asset and assist in that is going to help, in all that development that's desired. We've had this AC Red now for 5 years, and, I've been a part of it, and it just, seemed to not know what it wanted to be when it grew up. And so I think that bringing it in-house is going to allow for better focus, certainly definition. We need to have a definition of where we're going with this, and we'll also be able to, because there's not just one path we need to go down, because the needs of the different 21 county or cities that are in our county, they all have different goals of what they want to do, and so we're going to have to come up with various options for them to be able to get involved with the county and assist them. So anxious to see where this goes. And certainly a supporter of this move, and anxious to find out where it goes. So, thanks.
Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, as being one of the originators and on the ground floor of this when it first started, putting it together with the Chamber and Connexus, one of the real problems when we started it was all the cities getting them together because they were afraid that the big bad county was going to be the driver and take it over and run everything. So I could see that. I'm hoping that we've worked with them on this and that they don't feel like we're taking it over. Although we are taking it over financially. But I hope that they feel a big part of this and that we're actually working for them, not against them, and that we're working with them. And that just because we're taking it over financially, we're lifting a burden from them, and that we're willing to work with them as a partner to help development regionally in the county and in their cities, and that this is really a positive development, and that they should work with us, and that we can work together. And I think Greg's got a comment, but I spoke feverishly at almost every meeting I was at, that these cities really needed to take this on, and they needed to drive it because it was their project. It wasn't the county's project. And I really wanted them to take ownership of it. And they did for the most part, but I don't want them to lose sight of that now, just because we're taking it in-house and we're funding it. And we did that primarily when we took on a full-time position and paid a full-time position, was when we really started taking a little more ownership at Anoka County. But that doesn't mean we wanted to alienate the cities. We really wanted to help them out more. So I really want any of them that are paying attention today and are listening, I really want them to know that we're not trying to take this over. We're not the big bad county. We're really wanting to help them, and this is our way of figuring out a better way to help them.
Thank you. You had a comment, Greg?
Yeah, just a quick response to that. Certainly out of respect to the Board of Commissioners and not trying to get too far ahead of any policy decision, but we did have conversations with a number of city staff, and they were supportive of this change. This new approach is going to allow us to have more unique economic development strategies for the different segments and their different growth needs as compared to trying to include City of Bethel and the City of Blaine in the same business attraction kind of strategy. So this is going to allow us to personalize things a little bit more and a lot of discussions and opportunities on how we can accomplish that.
Commissioner Meisner and then Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Schulte. I really appreciate everything that you said because I think we all agree good relationships with our cities are very important. And then I just wanted to add too, as we're talking about the financial shifts, right? For me, so 2025, this is funded. We're funding now a full-time position as well as shifting the city's fees, quote unquote. And I hope that we continue, at least for my part, that we are creative and prioritize this as a value and then figure out how to continue to fund this in the future, even as things are shifting. And I just want to make note of that because I know that this is always a thing that is on our minds in the future. When we say yes to investment, then it means that we should continue that or, in the future. And so for this is definitely something that I think we should continue to invest and we should be cognizant of that. Thank you.
Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I just, in closing here, I just want to mention, Greg and I talked yesterday, and, we're not existing in a vacuum on this effort and wanting to do this. Other counties are doing this and doing it well, and I think that, one thing we'll be doing is, and having this new structure, we'll have the ability to emulate what other counties are doing and pick up on their successes and move this thing forward and have some success ourselves. So there's a lot of other counties to look at, so we need to do that.
Great. Any other comments? We had a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Thank you, Greg. We'll move down to item number 10, which is committee appointments. Consider the following appointments, reappointments to the Emergency Medical Services Council. Number 1, appointment of Renee Flores Sanders, representing hospitals and clinics for a term ending December 31st, 2027. Item number 2, appointment of Chief Brad Blummel, representing law enforcement, for a term ending December 31st, 2026. Reappointments of the following for terms ending December 31st, 2026. A is Ron Robinson, representing Citizens, and B is Dave Madison, representing Medical Transportation. And finally, reappointment of Kevin Kane, representing Medical Transportation, for a term ending December 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brasted. Do I have a second? Second. And seconded by Commissioner Schulte. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Thank you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 of them for offering to serve and being appointed or reappointed to the Emergency Medical Services Council. The item B is to consider appointing Judge Jennifer Peterson as the judicial representative to the Community Corrections Advisory Board for a 2-year term ending December 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Jepson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Thank you, Judge Peterson, for offering. Consider appointing, item C, consider reappointing Dave Pavoloni to the Board of Adjustment for a term ending December 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Been moved by Commissioner Reiner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. Thank you, Dave. And then D is to consider the following appointments and reappointment to the Library Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2027. First, we have appointment of Paulette Kostick, representing District 2, as recommended by Commissioner Brasted. 2, appointment of Kristen Roloff, representing District 4, as recommended by Commissioner Schulte. And 3, we have reappointment of Carol Fast, representing District 6, as recommended by Commissioner Jepson. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Jepson, seconded by Commissioner Brasted. Comments? Oh, Commissioner Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Carol Fast was my high school English teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not just saying this now because I know she's watching. No, I don't know if she's watching. But she was certainly one of my favorite teachers that I had. And so just very thankful for her. And thank you for the time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments before we vote? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, thank you to Paulette, Kristen, and Carol for being appointed and willing to serve and, or being reappointed. And with that, if there's anything else to come before the county board, see none, we're adjourned. And